Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to take a look at the New Adventures of He-Man Terrorpod or Terrorclaw. The Terrorclaw was released in 1988, towards the start of the New Adventures of He-Man line of figures. Mattel ended the original line of He-Man and then rebranded it and sort of redesigned it and came back with the New Adventures of He-Man. The line didn't do particularly well, but they did produce some excellent vehicles to go along with the figures, and I'd say this is probably the best one that they released, the Terrorclaw. It's just got so many things you can do with it, and it's also quite a large toy, which is something that I just like when you've got figures that are sort of 6 inches tall. It's nice to have a big vehicle that they can play with. First up, you'll see that it's got two giant legs that it stands on, and it also has this massive claw at the front of it, which can be sort of controlled by a joystick in Skeletor's cockpit there. You can move the jaw around, but unfortunately you can't open and close this jaw except by doing it by hand like that. It would have been great if there was a lever inside that would enable you to open the claw, because then you could have easily gone around and grabbed other characters and grabbed them within the claw. The vehicle itself has some really nice details to it, lots of nice detailing on the legs and extra sort of wheels and bits and bobs, and also the fact that you can put figures not only in the cockpit but there's space to stand them inside here, as you can see, like that. And there's also a trap door in the bottom of it that you can open, and then figures can drop out through the bottom of the toy itself. There's also 3 modes to this vehicle. At the moment we have it in its sort of walking mode. Let me turn it into the next mode and you'll see exactly what it looks like then. So here we have the second mode. The legs sort of fold back and you've ended up in a sort of tank mode. The wheels on the knee parts and the front of the foot are now both flat on the ground so that you can wheel the vehicle around. Again, it's not a massive change, but it does make for quite a nice sort of variation in a vehicle, and the fact it's got a sort of different play mode. Let's turn it into the third vehicle and we'll see what it looks like then. And so here we have the third mode, which is a sort of upright, almost like a walker sort of vehicle. Skeletor now has to sort of kneel in the back of the cockpit section here, which is a little bit awkward because his head sort of sits right by the joystick part of it, but it sort of works. It looks a little bit sort of cumbersome, but it does work. And now that the vehicle is upright, the secret panel that opens when it's in normal mode sort of swings down, and you can put figures inside it like so, and they can sort of slide down the ramp onto the ground. So it's quite a nice little gimmick that this vehicle has these 3 separate modes, and they all look a little bit different. This one is particularly large. As you can see though, Skeletor does fall out the back of it if you move the gripper hand. But again, this is a toy that I've been wanting for quite a long time. I saw it sort of a few years back and thought it looked excellent, and I've been trying to track one down for a while. They're not that common here in the UK, so it was all thanks to Pizarro's Pieces again that I managed to find this vehicle. I'll put his link in the text for this video if you want to follow him on Twitter and see what else he has for sale. But he was very good in tracking this one down for me to add to my collection here. I would say that Mattel took quite a few sort of ideas from the final Star Wars Return of the Jedi movie to design this toy, because walkers weren't particularly common before then, but you know, after we saw ATSTs in Jedi, then they did start to turn up all over the shop, and I'd say that this does tend to look a little bit like ATST from Return of the Jedi, but there's nothing wrong with that, and it's nice that toys sort of take elements from other things that people are enjoying. Overall, it's a really nice vehicle, and there's some nice little details added to it, like quite a lot of sculpting in the legs, and a very sort of subtle paint job to it. There's a little bit of an orangey brown colour painted onto it. It looks like the vehicle's a bit sun damaged, but this is actually an addition of paint added to the ship itself, and some nice sort of stickers inside just to add a little bit of details to the cockpit. This is not the sort of ship that you see particularly often here in the UK, and it's not one that many people collect. It's not a line of toys that many people collect, but I do like things that are Skeletor based, so it's one that I've been wanting to add to my collection. And it's also quite a large vehicle, so it does take up quite a lot of space if you have it on display. But for me, I do like it. It's well worth getting, and it's a nice piece that I've now added to my sort of growing Skeletor collection. So I hope that's been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.